Welcome to Calgary Conversations, a podcast of the City of Calgary where we aim to have frank conversations with city leaders about the issues and topics impacting Calgarians.
Please stand behind the yellow line.
My name is Jose Rodriguez. I am the leader of Media Relations and Employee Communications at the city, and I'm happy to be your host. Welcome back to Calgary Conversations, and as we head into Christmas season, festive season, Black Friday season, a lot of gifts are going to be given and a lot of waste is going to be created. So today we're very fortunate to have with us from our waste and recycling services, Sharon Howland and Grace Wark. And maybe we could start by telling us what it is you do at Waste and Recycling. Sharon?
Yeah, so over at Waste and Recycling Services, I lead the team responsible for the program components of the Blue, Black, and Green Card programs.
Nice. And Grace?
I'm a waste diversion specialist. So what that really means is I'm here to help Calgarians with reducing, reusing, recycling, and composting. So we can take all of those materials we use every day, hopefully give them a second life, and keep as much as we can out of our landfills.
So at the beginning, we talked about this time of season, and it does create more waste. I heard 25% more waste. Is that right?
Yeah, it's 25%, and that's across, the whole holiday season from, starting around now where we're starting to see a lot more shipping waste, cardboard, bubble wrap, shopping bags, that sort of thing, to getting into the holiday baking marathons where,
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And then the hosting season as well. So many holiday parties, disposable cups, paper plates, napkins, all of that stuff. So this month, all the way into January, where we have the Christmas trees as well, it's really a high producing time period.
So how do you deal with that sort of accelerated rate of waste coming at you?
Yeah, we really double down. Our teams put in a lot of hours. The processing facility where all the recycling goes, they're putting in overtime. They're making sure that the facility is prepared for the onslaught of wrapping paper come post-Christmas. And so, we just put it into our calendar every year to up staff and really double down and make sure that the facilities are all ready to receive and that the trucks are ready to go.
So Black Friday is just around the corner. It's like the starter's pistol to this sort of marathon of giving. What should Calgarians know to help reduce the waste that they create?
The gift purchasing time, when you're making your list, when you're checking it twice, it really is a great time to start thinking about your waste that comes out of it at the end. So my first and most important tip is just to be mindful when you're going out and doing your shopping. Think about the people who you're buying those gifts for, your friends, your family members, and be really intentional. Does this align with their hobbies, their interests? Make a list of all of those people and the items that you want to buy them so that when you hit the mall or you're shopping online, you're not prone to overpurchasing. There are a ton of different ways we can also get creative with our gift giving in order to pare down on that waste. One of my favorites is giving the gift of experiences rather than physical goods. So we're really lucky here in Calgary. We have so many different experiences available to us. We've got the Calgary Zoo, the Calgary Philharmonic. You can go to the theater, you can go to the ballet, tickets that you can buy for your family so that you're really giving them the gift of your time and of your presence rather than ending up with all of these different materials. Another way to do this is you could get into the holiday baking that Sharon was talking about, maybe take up crocheting, make your family a sweater. And we can also pare down on the wrapping that's involved, all of that packaging. So one way to do this is instead of going out and buying all of your gifts online during Black Friday, you could consider looking locally. So from a shop, if you're buying it here in Calgary, you may have less of that bubble wrap, less of all of those boxes that are going to end up cluttering up your blue cart. And so it's a great way to reduce on all of that waste. So hopefully we can bring down that 25% that's ending up in our recycling facility.
Across the facilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a 25% increased landfills, recycling, and compost across the board.
Now you're making me feel less guilty about all those times I didn't wrap those Christmas gifts. We'll see, because I'm not very good at it. But I think one of the things that's happening out there right now is the whole idea of regifting. Like you talked about the experience, that's becoming a thing. Regifting is also a thing, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. And we're trying to bring it back in style. So I have right here one of my favorite gifts that I've ever received.
That looks amazing.
This is kind of a wall hanging. It represents the 12 different animals from the Chinese zodiac, and I received it from my grandmother. So this was really special to me. It's something that I grew up seeing in her house when I was a kid, and now I get to hang it in my own home. It's colorful, it's beautiful, and every time I see it, I think of her.
Oh, and so meaningful too, right? I mean, talk about a gift that kind of touches the heart. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So regifting is one way to reduce waste. What can we use instead of, say, wrapping gifts? What can we do?
There are so many different materials you can look to. So some more examples here for you. I've used a bit of fabric, sprig of eucalyptus, and a little bit of twine.
Is that real
as well.
eucalyptus?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And so here, this is a low-waste gift. This is fabric materials that I already had at home and something that you can reuse again. So we don't have all of that packaging that's ending up in the bin.
If I didn't have fabric, Grace, what could I use? Is there anything else?
Leftover newspaper, magazines, anything you have sitting around the house, you can really zhuzh up and decorate.
What about like a tea towel or a sweater?
Absolutely. One of my favorite gifts that I received when I was a kid was wrapped in towels because my parents couldn't find anything else to wrap it in. It was one of those big play kitchens, and the effect was absolutely the same. I loved it so much.
Wow. I'm learning so much and feeling less and less guilty with everything that you're saying because I am an awful wrapper. So, is there anything else you want to touch on around gift wrapping or ways to reduce?
It's just to be mindful. So anytime you are reaching for the ribbons, for the wrapping paper, just remembering if you can keep those materials, save them again for next year, that's great. And if not, they're gonna have to go somewhere. Go to our recycling facility, ending up increasing that load that we have during the holiday season. So being mindful and paring down as much as you can really goes a long way.
Sharon, I guess there's been an evolution in the kind of waste that we're seeing these days. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. It's changed so much in the last 10 years. We used to go into the recycling facility and the pile of recycling was a certain color, and now it is brown. It's brown boxes, and it's all because of the online shipping change. So, it started about 20 years ago, but really over the last 10 years. And, so much of our purchasing, it's arriving at our door. It's Amazon, it's other independent retailers. But yeah, the packaging has changed so much. It's all cardboard boxes, it's cushion pillows, the bubble wrap, that sort of thing. So there's been a significant change. It used to be paper shopping bags was a lot more common. You'd go to the mall and get all of your purchases, one big shopping bag, and you headed home. Now it's, 5 packages a week in separate boxes with more shipping cushions, more bubble wrap. So it's really changed a lot. And the other big trend that we've seen over the last 10 years, and particularly since the pandemic actually, is really an uptick in single-use items. So when people are hosting, they're skipping the durable, reusable dishes and instead using paper plates, the red Solo cups, the disposable utensils. And yeah, cleanup is easier, right? And a lot of those materials can be recycled or composted, depending what they are. But we're really about that first R of a reduction. So just giving some thought when you're going to host. Do I have dishes? Could I maybe borrow dishes from a neighbor or a family member? Could I ask my friends that are coming over to maybe bring their own plate? It's not too much to ask, and people are usually quite curious about why you did that, and it just can add something festive to the event if we all bring our own holiday, themed plate or something like that from home.
Wow. And it multiplies, right? The more people that do it, the less stuff that ends up in our landfill.
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool. Batteries. I've always been curious about batteries. I don't know where to put them to begin with, but more importantly, I heard of fires that get started at some of our facilities as a result. What can you tell us about batteries?
Yeah, batteries have become a huge problem over the past few years, and that's because they're in everything. So in your home, you have batteries, right? They're in your e-bike or your cordless vacuum. They're in your power packs that you're using to charge up your cell phone. And we've seen significant structural damage this year at homes due to lithium-ion battery fires. So Calgary Fire has reported $34 million in structure fire damage this year. Then you take it to our facilities. So a lot of people, they look at a battery, oh, it seems metal. I bet you that can go in the recycling bin. And they toss it in there and it gets crushed in the back of a collection truck, or it gets run over by the loader at the recycling facility, gets exposed to air or moisture, and poof, a building full of paper is on fire. It's terrifying. And it has happened so many times. Last week, we had 4 fires at the recycling facility. We do not have time for that in the lead up to the holiday season. It causes a backlog. It puts people's lives in danger because, of course, the facility needs evacuated. So any sort of battery, whether, you're changing out the batteries on that string of Christmas lights that you put over your mantle and they're just the AAAs, or it's a battery-powered device like a power pack for a cell phone or vapes, all of those, keep them separate, put them in a little bin in your garage, keep them clean and dry, and then take them either to a Calgary Eco Centre or visit recycleyourbatteries.ca for one of the 146 drop-off locations around Calgary.
And I think some of those were at fire stations once upon a time. Are they still at fire stations?
Yep, we do have battery drop-off at our designated fire halls.
So one of my favorite parts of, Christmas, the holiday season, the party season, is eating, just because eating is fun. It's awesome. Very curious about food waste around this time of year. What can you tell us about that?
I'm looking forward to those holiday parties too,
Right?
but you're exactly right. Food waste is another type of material that really adds up over the holidays. So what happens to all of us is we're planning that family gathering and we're really worried about what? Not having enough food. And I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, when I've gone to a holiday party, this has actually never been a problem. We always have more than enough. And so what we're encouraging Calgarians to do is just to be really mindful when they're making that grocery list. Shop from your pantry, see if you still have that cranberry sauce or those breadcrumbs that are sitting in there that you're going to pull out again this year. And then make your grocery list before you go and hit the grocery store. Similar to when you're doing your gift shopping, you want to stick to that list so that you're preventing overpurchasing. Now, a lot of people think about the big meal, right? The turkey, but we don't think about as much what comes after. So think about your leftovers and make a plan for how you're going to be dealing with them. You can invite your guests to bring their own Tupperware. You can also maybe plan for your favorite turkey sandwich or making a special broth afterwards that you can enjoy in the days to come. But really, it's just about, again, being mindful and thinking about all of those materials that Sharon had also mentioned, the reusables that are around the dinner table, bringing in your own plates, inviting people to bring their own dishes. If you don't have a punch bowl, it's always better to borrow instead of buy. So ask around with your friends, your family, your neighbor. Maybe they can bring it to the party instead.
Now, speaking of food waste, I know that goes in the green bin. And I know that from the amazing commercials we do with that guy with the cheesy mustache who says what goes where. Adam. Why has the green bin gone from every week to every second week now?
So every November, we switch from weekly collection to every second week collection for green cart. And that's strictly because the volume drops and it's because of the yard waste. So this time of year, we see the volume in the green cart go down to less than half of what it was in the months leading up. We do still see some leaves out there, but the every other week collection seems to be adequate. We've forecasted a lot over the last 7 years and learned a lot as the green cart was introduced, just trying to be as efficient as possible with the trucks and resources, but still make sure that Calgarians can get the service that they need leading into the holiday season.
Can you tell us about some other service changes that might be happening in December?
Yes. So this year, Christmas Day and New Year's Day both fall on Thursdays. That means no collection on Christmas Day, December 25th, or New Year's Day, January 1st. And what we're doing instead to make sure that people have room in their carts for all that festive material is we're bumping collection ahead. So if you have collection on Thursday, December 25th, your collection will be Monday, December 22nd. And if you have collection on Thursday, January 1st, your collection day will be Monday, December 29th.
And if folks want to just check theirs, we have a pretty good place they can go look.
We have a couple of good places.
Yeah, okay.
So we always recommend downloading our Garbage Day app. So it's My Garbage Day app on either app store that you use, or visit calgary.ca/cart schedule, and you can look up your calendar there.
So I nailed it on the green cart. I know the food, stuff that I eat, stuff that could perish generally goes in there. What can you tell us about the two other bins?
Let's start with the blue cart recycling. We all know it, we all love it, and the great thing about your blue cart is that almost everything can go in there loose. So during the holiday season, let's think about your paper. Starting with our wrapping paper, our tissue paper here, this is all great in order to recycle. All you have to do is just crumple it up, throw it in your bin, makes it a little bit easier for us to sort at the recycling facility.
What if it's in a big black garbage bag, right? Like you've had the whole unwrapping session and we put it all into, can that still go into that same bin?
Unfortunately, it can't. So the reason why we want all of those materials to go in loose is it's so much easier to identify once it gets onto the conveyor belts at our recycling facility. So when it's in a black garbage bag, unfortunately, our workers at the facility can't know what's inside there. It can be a safety hazard, and so those materials actually have to come back off the line and may end up at the landfill instead. So other materials that can go into our blue cart include cardboard boxes. I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot of those over the holidays. Just remember to flatten them out, break them down, makes a bit more room in your blue cart. And then you can also have materials like clean foil. You know, you had the turkey, you can pull it off, you can crumple it up again and throw it into your blue cart. And lastly, let's not forget about our plastics. So any molded plastics, as long as it has the recycling symbol on it, you know, the 3 chasing arrows, we can accept recycling numbers 1 through 7, with the exception of styrofoam, which can go to our city's eco-centers. So look for that recycling symbol on your plastic materials and make sure that it's a nice, bulky item, larger than the size of your palm, and then it's clean. Throw it right in your blue cart so it can be recycled.
So with all this stuff going in the green bin and the blue bin, what's going in the black bin?
Luckily, not a lot of material. Isn't that great?
Right? That is very good.
So we have some non-recyclable types of wrapping. So the shiny metallic bows, the ribbons, and the crinkly cellophane, the plastic cellophane, that should be going into your black cart, as well as any broken items that you might have at home. So broken kids' toys, you might have broken dishes or ornaments, or what we call tanglers. So maybe you have a string of Christmas lights that don't work anymore. Once these end up at a recycling facility, they can actually cause a lot of problems. So throw these in your black cart instead, keep it out of your blue bin, and you'll have no problems. Okay, Jose, you've been doing great with the recycling and the composting. So now I'm going to ask you a quick pop quiz.
Whoa. I asked the questions.
Let's try something a little bit different today. So I've got a box here. It comes with a few different material types. Got a cardboard box, we've got plastic in the middle, and we've got a little bit of paper lining. What would you do with this at home?
So I would guess that that's all recycling, all blue bin.
You've got that exactly right. So very well done. You've been listening well. And yep, we can recycle our plastic here, our cardboard, and all of our paper can go right in the bin.
Nice. And Sharon, you had a trick that we can use to test these things. Am I right?
Yeah, whether it's wrapping paper or fiber inserts like in the chocolate box there, I call it the tear test. So just give it a little tear. Does it tear just like a piece of paper tears? Then it's recyclable paper in the blue bin. If it's more like a cellophane where it doesn't tear at all, that's going to go in your black bin. Yeah, so use the tear test.
I really want to thank you for spending some time with me today. And is there anything I forgot to ask?
Christmas trees.
Oh, Christmas trees. Of course. Okay. What can you tell me about Christmas trees?
So we still see a lot of Christmas trees. Calgarians
like the real ones, not the ones you get at Costco, like the actual trees.
Yeah. There's, probably close to 50,000 of them collected annually in Calgary. So there's a lot of organizations that will receive them. So you can go online and look if, any of the wildlife organizations are looking for them as a donation for habitat during the winter. They're great ways to support that. But we do have a convenient way for you to get rid of your real Christmas tree. And you can either cut it up and put it in your green cart, Or you can take it to one of our Christmas tree drop-off locations. So we have them across the city. They're open from Boxing Day. So if you're the type of person that takes it down quickly, or
We're not.
you like to procrastinate right to the end of January, we're open all the way to the end of January as well. And you can find the locations at calgary.ca/Christmas tree.
Awesome. Grace, anything you want to end with?
Well, this is a really joyful season. It's a time for Calgarians to celebrate, to give meaningful gifts, and to just spend time together. But like we've been talking about today, there's still a lot of waste that's associated with that. So we're just here to remind everyone this season to make more memories and less waste. And we've talked about a lot of tips today. So if you want a summary of all that, head to calgary.ca/holiday waste.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for spending some time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. As always, we value your feedback, so please reach out to us at calgaryconversations@calgary.ca and tell us what topics you'd like covered and questions you'd like answered. Until next time, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and if you see someone without a smile today, give them yours. Take care.